There is a planetary alignment that's taking place right now, and that planetary alignment out there is creating room for an alignment in here. The planetary alignment, I want you to think of it like this. We have a whole lot of planetary bodies standing in a line. Some people call it the planetary parade, so you could use that as a visual. These planetary bodies standing in a line waiting to receive the instruction from the sun. Because that is what this alignment is. It is an opportunity for purification and redirection that comes from the sun. And Earth is not just the witness to all of this, not just the bystander watching it all take place. Earth is part of this new instruction, and every planetary body that receives this new instruction amplifies the energy of purification, and what it is a purification of the false matrix. Now I say to you, 2025 is the beginning of a new era. This was a couple of videos back, and I explained that 2025 to 2032, more or less, is part of one era of consciousness. In the same way that 2012 to 2024, that was one era. That was the era of awakening. Now we're moving into this new era, and this is the official beginning, the official inauguration, you could say, of that 2025 consciousness. It starts on the 25th of January, 2025, and that's when it's the word I want to use is official or full swing. That is the beginning. We've been working towards it for quite a while, and now we've got this alignment in place. As we move into February, though, that alignment amplifies even more, because then we have Mercury joining the planetary parade of Venus, Saturn, Neptune, Jupiter, Uranus, and Mars. There are so many misunderstandings, however, and we're going to iron out some of those misunderstandings before I explain to you how you can take advantage of the higher alignment within you at the deepest, most intimate level of your being. This alignment is speaking into the cells of your body, but it is only with your authorization and cooperation that that alignment can come into play right now. You can, of course, not do anything. You can, of course, planetary alignment, schmeinment, nothing to do with me, not interested. That's okay. That's a perfect choice. It's allowed. But for those of you watching this video, there's something in you that goes, I don't know why this matters to me, but it does. I don't know why this is a big deal, but it is. Because it is. Because there's something in you saying to you, I want to be part of that alignment as it comes online. I've done enough waiting. No, thank you. I'm not waiting anymore. I'm not sitting in a half-baked alignment. I'm not waiting for this string of light to come in. And I say string because that's how we could envision the planets, like a string of these planetary bodies, and each planetary body offers itself as a node point, kind of like your chakric system. We've lived in a false matrix, an old paradigm where we've believed many things upside down, inside out, the wrong way around. It was a realm of illusion. So we believed things like, oh, we only have 7 chakras, when in fact we have so many more. We've believed things like, oh, we only have this teeny weeny tiny little solar system that Earth is a part of, our little neighborhood. Hi guys, this is our little family. Our solar system is so much bigger. There are no words to describe how vast our solar system is. But here's the deal. We've lived in a false matrix, and in the false matrix, we couldn't see that which was not of the false matrix. We were plugged into, dialed into, tuned into the rhythm of the false matrix. And that rhythm of the false matrix not only blinded us to the divine matrix, which surrounds us, but for all intents and purposes, we're cut off from and been living totally separate from. In the same way, you've been living totally separate from your true self, totally separate from your memory of who you were before this life, and before that, and before that. You've been living in a state of very abnormal separation from self. That separation from self is because we have been quarantined into a consciousness or a realm called the false matrix. That broadcast signal, because that's what the false matrix was. It was a broadcast signal that originated in our solar system and was broadcast here to our planet Earth. And there were many relay stations. The broadcast signal was so big, there were many relay stations, and most of our solar system was in some way part of relaying that broadcast signal. Think of each planet now as a consciousness in the same way that the sun is a consciousness. We've been taught to think of the planets as solid rock, as the solid thing out there, so far away, so distant from us. But I want you to envision your body as an energy field, your body as an energy body. And when I say envision, feel it. Feel. You are energy. We sometimes try too hard to visualize that we lose the real essence of what it is to envision something. It is to experience something, to conjure an image and to experience the image. So don't worry so much about what your visual looks like. Worry more about, can I experience, can I even imagine myself as energy? Because then it's easier to imagine the sun as the stargate that it is, the portal that it is, through which the supreme creator of all that is brings its light, focuses its light through the sun. And the sun, therefore, is a carrier of consciousness, God consciousness, pure universal consciousness. We've been shielded from, separate from, shut off from that direct communication that was part of the broadcast signal of the false matrix, part of that externalized signal, which was taken down around 2012. That was taken down. That's what initiated that 2012 era. As the broadcast signal, the external false matrix broadcast signal was taken down, it still made allowance for the internal programmed false matrix within, which is that which we've believed about ourselves or about life, that is of the false matrix, or that was initiated by the false matrix. It is that we get to clear. So when I say to you, the external broadcast signal has been taken down, it has, but that doesn't mean that the false matrix doesn't exist. It still exists within each and every single one of us as the memory and the habit of who we believe ourselves to be today. So a lot of the false matrix is conditioned programming. It no longer comes from the external broadcast signal. And what we're seeing right now is so moving, so beautiful, so wildly spectacular. And that is those planets that were part of the broadcast signal and relaying the broadcast signal of the false matrix, they're being purified. And they all had different roles. And no, that doesn't mean that they were bad. That means just like planet Earth, they held an agreement to be captured for a certain amount of time inside of a false matrix so that we could have an experience of the illusion of being separate from ourselves and separate from our consciousness, from our supreme wisdom. You guys, there is no way for me to do this, but I wish there was. For me to show you the enormity of who you are, the vast, magical, magnificent, divine, omnipotent wisdom and love that you are. So when you are everything, know everything, to have this illusion of, I don't know who I am, I don't know where I am, I don't know what I am, I don't remember the life before this, I don't remember the life before that. To have this illusion, it takes a lot of doing. And make no mistake, we came for this experience. It's very easy to say we were duped into this, we were manipulated into this, but we knew that that was part of the false matrix. It was going to be a minefield of manipulation, and our role in it all was to discern where truth was and to orientate ourselves towards truth. Now, this planetary alignment that's coming into play right now makes our job so much easier. So number one, it's cleansing all the external remnants of the false matrix. It is marking the beginning of the era of the 2025 to approximately 2032, wherein humanity becomes higher consciousness beings, or capable of hosting higher consciousness within themselves. We know we've got the sun as an energy field, our body as an energy field, and each planet Each planetary body is an energy field. By the way, my neighbors are doing some kind of loud construction work, and it's just, I hope it's not coming through on the microphone, but every now and then I get this little buzz in my ear from their noise. Oh, it's part of living in the world right now, so I'll deal with it, and I'll celebrate the fact that I get to share these messages with you, sometimes imperfect, sometimes from an imperfect, noisy environment, but at least I get to share love and truth with you, and we're so blessed to have connected with each other and to be in each other's company. Because believe it or not, this is not just me talking to you. This is not just some random stranger on the internet having a conversation with you. This is some preordained communication from our souls to each other. You know, I don't sit with a script. I have a general idea of what I want to say, but most of the time I'm just feeling into the moment and flowing with whatever the words are that come. And I truly believe, I've always believed, that the words that come are directed by you guys. The words that come are your collective soul consciousness at its higher level, speaking to my soul at its higher level. And that's where, and sometimes as I'm speaking to you, just concepts arrive and new ways of explaining and expressing things come. This is a collaborative effort, a team effort. Anyway. Can you see or feel that planetary alignment that I'm speaking about, where we've got the consciousness of the sun relaying a purified consciousness, and to each planetary body that receives these higher light codes, an amplification occurs. So each planetary body that takes in this higher alignment, and they're all lining up for it, so to speak, to receive the purification, the cleansing, then we who've been living in the false matrix, albeit with an external broadcast system that was taking down our internal broadcast signal or system, is now being given the opportunity to match what's taking place out there, to come into a direct alignment with God's source creator consciousness. This isn't about I'm being directed by these external planets, because that's very false matrix idea. That's very astrology idea, which is very much part of the false matrix. Doesn't mean it's wrong and bad. It just means that there's a much higher understanding that we're going to come to. And part of that higher understanding is my body is also a field of energy, just like all of these planetary bodies. And they're the example, showing us what it feels like when a higher alignment takes place. And of course, they make it easier. We always talk about the light workers being front runners, right? I share this conversation frequently. Even in my online community, who I consider to be front runners, I'm always preparing them and saying, right, guys, you're going to receive this energy first. You're going to be among those who rushes head first into that energy that comes into the planet. It's going to break over you, wash over you, and you're going to be absorbing these higher light codes. Right now, those planetary bodies are the front runners doing that for us, bringing into themselves that higher consciousness and just making it available. Just making it available. See, this is now about choice. This is important. This is not about the planets are directing me and telling me what to be and who to feel and no, not who to feel. Please, no, how to feel. The planets are telling you nothing. They're not directing you. That was the old paradigm. What the planets are doing right now is showing you, being an example for you, so that now you can draw from that frequency, but you've got to choose. So the choice looks like this. I'm making myself available to my higher alignment, which my soul knows is mine. See, the brain can't do this, right? What does the brain know about its higher alignment? The brain was the seat of the locus of control of the ego that was the operator of the false matrix. We're not going to turn to the brain to do this. The brain is really important, but it's not important to facilitate your ascension, because that's not its job. Your brain is the part of you that is there to analyze and understand equations and work things out, but the part of you that directs you is a new locus of control, which is the heart-centered soul that is coming online. So I always say to you guys, feel this. Imagine that we're feeling and imagining here, no longer up there. So this alignment is a permission. It's a permission first and foremost. And then following the permission, see if you can imagine or feel from the heart, imagine or feel this exquisite, radiant, pure, divine, cosmic light that is God consciousness coming through the sun directly into your shining portal of your heart. Direct alignment. Those planetary bodies are leading the way. That planetary alignment is simply giving us a marker or a beacon that we can use to say yes to the higher alignment. And when you say that yes, and you give that permission, immediately, so you'll feel it right now. For those of you who are very sensitive, you'll feel it right now immediately. There begins a realignment, or you could think of it as a restructuring inside the DNA. At the DNA level, the molecular level, there is the ability to absorb this higher alignment that's coming in. I always leave it at the end of pretty much every video, and honestly, I don't intend this. It's just how my videos, it's how they roll. At the very end, there's normally a little nugget that comes through, and here's the nugget for today. I spoke about the solar system and about how we were really able to tune into and see that part, that very small view of the solar system that was in some way at some point orientated to the false matrix. Great. But what I didn't share, that I really want you to know, is that the solar system is massive. Our solar system is a huge family, and you're coming home, not because you're going somewhere else, but because you are now stepping into a higher frequency, a higher alignment that allows you to begin first to feel, then to see that the solar system that we're a part of is absolutely teeming with life, way beyond what we've been told, way beyond the limited planetary count that we have. There are so many planets that form our direct solar system. So this is kind of like going, oh, well, I'm part of a little planetary family, and then realizing, wait, there's more like 64 of us. Wait, there's more like 112 of us. Wait, there's more like thousands of us. And I use those numbers, 64 and 112, purely because that's the amount of planets that we'll first see, and then as we shift in frequency, we'll see more, and as we shift in frequency, we'll see more, because so many of these planets exist outside of our ability to perceive them. These planets exist out of phase with the false matrix, so it makes sense that we first need to purify our eyes, our DNA, our cellular frequency before we can start tuning in. There is one major marking point that determines, or I should say signifies, the complete and final collapse of the false matrix. That's called ascension. That's the great solar flash that comes from the sun that completely eradicates all remnants of the false matrix. Until that happens, and by the way, that could happen tomorrow or in 10 years' time or at any other time. Before that happens, however, we are slowly, person by person, light worker by light worker, deconstructing the remnants of the false matrix that still lives within us. That is what this alignment is helping you to do. So, from my heart, all the way to yours, I remind you that there is a center of love that is directly connected to you. And that center of love we could think of as God or universal consciousness. And it shines through the sun, and no, you don't have to be in the sun right now to receive it, because the sun's energy surrounds you right now. Whether it's the middle of winter or the middle of the night, that's okay. The sun's light is a consciousness that touches the consciousness in the center of your heart. And my heart is reminding you, this is what it is to come online. This is home, the home that we all longed for. Speak to you really soon. Bye-bye for now.